It's Friday, March 27th. We're almost a few more days in March, and things have not changed much since last week, and they probably won't for a few more weeks. But I'm going to still keep trying to come out here, semi-live to you guys. Been doing some live lessons, with students and using Zoom and stuff like that. It's been really fun, and maybe we'll expand that to TG sometime in the near future. And so I don't have a whole lot of exciting news to talk about. I've just been I may have already put this post up by now, but been thinking about diversions. Like now with a house full of people here, everybody's finding other little projects to do. I got one baking something every day. I got one trying to stay with her students and having conferences with 24 students every day, 10 minutes each, things like that. And I stumbled into a few things that are pretty cool. One is a puzzle. I like math puzzles and stuff. This one's called Hidato, and it's filling in numbers in a thing a little bit, not exactly like Sudoku, but you map out a path. Anyway, pretty cool. I'll put some links to some of these things that are running through my head right now. Tuned in to the Neil Young archives a little bit earlier today and a couple of days ago, and he's been doing something really cool, which is putting up live streaming. Well, they're not streaming because you can watch them. I mean, you can watch them anytime, but he's been putting up little films. I think he has to film them because he can't do. I think he's stranded way up in the Rockies, and the internet is not necessarily so good up there. But so he and his wife, Daryl Hannah, have been shooting these, him just sitting sometimes outside in the snow or walking around in the snow with his harmonica on a horseshoe that's stuck on a post, and just kind of playing songs. Today's the second one is out now, so you got to check this out. The Neil Young archives. Go into the Hearst Theater and see what's playing, and he's got a lot of artists are obviously doing some things like this. I think I mentioned last week a little bit. Muriel Anderson has got a live stream coming up from her house next week. I think April 4th. Anyway, easy to find that info out, but I think it's really important to try to help support anybody you can whose livelihood has changed drastically. And Nani was watching some, I think I mentioned this last week too, but because it just happened. I think it was just last Friday. Some Hawaiian artists were doing the same type of thing, playing from different places, one in New York, one on Maui, one on the Big Island, and really just to stay in touch with their fans and audiences. So Neil's second one started off, the first one he was playing out in the snow. Oh shoot, I can't remember what he opened up with. Oh, Sugar Mountain. Each of these is about 25, 26 minutes long. I think there are only two of them out there so far. And some he's by the fireplace in the house, and others he's out in the snow. And so anyway, check it out. The second one I just saw a few minutes of today. I think one of them had words in it, which is what started me on that. What else did he? Of course, he did a version, I think it was probably on Comes a Time. You guys can check that out for me, but of Ian Tyson's song, Four Strong Winds. Or was it on the other one that looked just like it? No, I think it was Comes a Time, but doesn't matter. You guys all know the song now. Do I have a lesson on it? Should I put one together of like playing the melody sort of like that. It's sort of the kinds of things I'm working on right now. But what else? Oh, let me think. Wait, I'll end with that. I think there's another Neil Young song running through my head, except I don't think I know the chords. We'll see if I can wing it. If I try to remember to do that. So what? Let's see. What else? There's something. Oh, like even these other distractions and diversions that have popped into things lately. One of which is in our local newspaper. It brought up some things that are all kinds of stuff that is going out there now free to people. And another cool one is one of our local tourist sites, the Winchester Mystery House, is opening up like virtual tours, and you can walk around and see Sarah Winchester's semi-spooky house that's not far from here at TG Central. And so I didn't really follow that one yet, but I'm planning to when next time I've got a little bit of time to fill. And but I did stumble into another one that was pretty cool, and this was the San Francisco Symphony. sfsymphony.org has got a series that's all at YouTube now, and it's there. I think there's like a new one coming out every few days, called Keeping Score, and it's documentaries of Michael Tilson Thomas, the soon-to-be retired, if he isn't, well, actually probably is by now, director who's been here for 20 years or something like that, and doing something that Leonard Bernstein did many years ago, called Children's Concerts. What was his show called? Anyway, but it was on PBS back when I was a kid, and really got kids engaged in symphonic music and things like that. But Michael Tilson Thomas's one is really cool. I only watched a few minutes of the first one. I thought, okay, I can't do this now. I got to go work on the news. And well, you may guess that not a lot of predetermined work, or not a lot of pre-planning goes into this, but it does mean setting things up and tuning the guitar and making sure the house is quiet and turning the phone off. And anyway, but this thing on hearing a conductor like Michael Tilson Thomas or Leonard Bernstein talk about music and kind of explaining things in layman's terms is pretty neat. So this first one of Michael Tilson Thomas's is on Charles Ives, and I'm looking forward to settling down with that a little bit later this afternoon. And Young Person's Guide. That was Benjamin Britten. Okay, Bernstein's was called something like that. Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra or something. And for a while those were available. I remember stumbling into a few either at like Netflix or, never mind. But if you're interested in a little behind the scenes stuff, I think there's one on Gustav Mahler coming up, and there was a Copeland one. I don't think those have been released yet. I think they're pumping them out like one a week or something like that. So let's see. That were some of the cool things that happened around here. I had one more thing I was going to mention. Oh, we have hummingbirds. We have babies in the backyard. They're like, you can't even see them. I might have a picture right now, but I think they'll get bigger. I think they stay in the nest for even a couple of like 3 weeks or so. So as they get a little bit bigger and start making noise, so check out the Hummer Cam is still eating up bandwidth here at the Hogan household, but it's pretty cool watching what's happening out there. But with the help of one of my students the other day, I think we managed to get a little mirror up there. Mama had taken off and got a mirror up there and got a picture. Very dark though in the nest, and these things right now are so tiny you can't even see them. But I will get that photo up. Actually, by the time you see this, I probably do have that photo added to the Hummer Cam thread. Okay, one of my all-time. I'm ready to sign off here, and one of my all-time favorite Neil Young songs from. Oh, so this is looking at his archives thing. There's just a ton of stuff there. You can pretty much dial up any album and have it play while you're tooling around and doing that kind of stuff. And I clicked on a Buffalo Springfield album and just to test it out and see what the audio quality, see how it sounds like to listen to some of these. Listening to it on a little computer is terrible, but. Okay, I think I got it. So cool in this song in Broken Arrow, how it kept breaking into different things, you know, the circus music. So this is my little diversion away from it into a totally different, nothing planned here, of course. But I'll come back and end it with the main theme one more time. Okay, I'll check back next week. We'll be into April, and probably a lot more of the same going on in the country. I hope everybody stays healthy and inside.